Hello, everybody. Welcome to Veilcast. Today is another brand new episode. And on today's episode, we're talking about how to get hired using the perfect resume. So, we have a guest here. So, I'll allow him to do the honors of introducing himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Shogo. I'm a software engineer with experience in data building data platforms and machine learning operations. Yeah, pretty much it about me.
Okay, nice, nice. So now, okay, how was your journey like when you started out? We'll still talk about the whole topic, but let's just familiarize ourselves a little bit. So, how was the journey and how was it being so far in the world of tech?
Okay. My journey is um how will I put it? It's not like a smooth route
Okay.
to where I am today. So with I started with Java first, then
Okay.
I moved on to learning Python. A couple of let me say about 6 years ago, I guess. I think 6 years ago, and the first course I would take was on data science. So that was on EDX in collaboration with Data Camp.
Okay.
So I got introduced to data science. Then I moved on to working as an intern at Terragon. Not officially. So I had a mentor in Terragon groups. Like I had about two mentors there. So I used to go there. I used to see how they worked. And from there, I got my first internship via a competition that my team and I won in 2018 at Cora P. It used to be Cora Network as at that time. It's a blockchain company. So as a backend intern, I was writing Node.js. Later on, moved on to a couple of other opportunities in like data science and also in machine learning across different countries. So yeah, right now I work fully as a data engineer.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for that detailed answer. So now, to the main, discussion of the day, how to get hired using the perfect resume. There have been so many people. They are quite good, but they are always having issues. Getting the right job. People tend to churn out 10 to 20 articles per week. What am I saying? I said articles, 10 to 20 applications per week, but they don't get responses and also. So I want us to like break it down so that anybody that is just starting out, they can really understand. Anybody starting out, look for a job and easily understand the whole process, you know, from LinkedIn to the CV to the cover letter, everything. So that's that about that. So please go on.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So when we talk about job applications, so when we talk about applications generally, it entails a lot of things, and I'm going to try as much as possible to make sure that we cover the whole thing. So I usually divide the application process into the search stage, the interview stage, and let me see, and let me see, maybe like the onboarding stage, like the early days in the company, because a couple of people get jobs and they still get laid off during their probation. So you are not a full employee until the company can actually ascertain that okay, this person that we actually interviewed is qualified enough to remain with us. So let's start with the search stage. The search stage is where you actually start off with you're looking for a job, you recognize that you need a job, and you recognize that you are going to start searching for the job. So the first thing you think you are going to do is okay, dust your resume or edit your
Mm.
resume or get your resume ready. Um, so it's very important that a couple of things that you need to be on your resume are one, your experiences over the past as regards trying to apply. Yeah, I use myself as an example. I have experience with multiple tech stacks. I have worked as a backend engineer. I've worked at some point as an SQL engineer. I've worked as a machine learning engineer, MLOps engineer, data scientist. So I can decide today that like, I want to start applying for any of these roles. Um, One thing that I would not do is to add up my experiences. For instance, if I'm shooting for MLOps role, for instance, yeah, I will not add all my experiences from the beginning of my career to be on my CV. I only add the relevant experiences that are very tailored to maybe like MLOps, because MLOps is what I'm looking for, whatever role I'm looking for. So you need to be able to tailor your experience to the kind of roles you're looking for. So that's the first thing. The other thing is you need to be sure that for the role you're applying for, you actually have like the the necessary skills. Like there are industry let me say like there are industry standards, right,
Okay.
for most of these roles that people apply for. For instance, if you are saying you're a backend engineer, there is a stack of backend engineers. Like you need to understand a couple of things. So there are stacks that are tilted towards PHP. There are stacks that are tilted towards JavaScript. There are stacks that are tilted towards Python. There are stacks tilted towards Golang. So you must be able to pick a particular track or combine a couple of tracks as a backend engineer. So you must be able to put this there. So the basic requirement is that at least you know a programming language and you're good at it. Then
Okay.
maybe a couple of frameworks in that language, understanding of networks or maybe deployment, understanding how like what the client server communication looks like. Maybe we're in the modern day where we use things like containerization, which is Docker, using things like Kubernetes, Swarm, and whatnot. So these are basic things that you should at least maybe know and be able to put on your CV. And it is not bad if you don't know it at the moment. One thing you can always do is to learn. When this age where like you have access to unlimited like information on YouTube, on different platforms. There are platforms that are built that you can learn some of these things for free. So, and if you are willing to, maybe you can afford it, you can give a shot to courses on online. Um, so that is about the experience and the skills. So for the skills, you must be able to put things like minimum requirements in the industry for that particular stack you are or that particular role you're trying to apply for. So you need to like have some. You can't have zero knowledge about programming and you're trying to apply for a backend engineer. It doesn't make sense, right?
Oh,
That's
oh
not
no.
smart. So yeah, you get. So, am I still audible? Am I clear?
Yes, yeah, you're clear.
Am
Yeah.
I? Yeah. Okay, cool. You must be comfortable with those things before you put them on your CV. Um, so moving on, the next thing you need to put on your CV is about your experience. Okay, your experiences. So you've worked at this place to this place. You've worked on. So you can next thing you can put are your projects. If you have access to like links to the projects you've built, you can add them to your CV. You can add things like your academic um like the academic course maybe is relevant to what you're doing. For instance, you're applying to a data science role and maybe you study like mathematics. You might be a good shot for um, for consideration because someone that finished with mathematics in the university would of course have some like basic knowledge about some things
Yes.
compared to someone that finished from another department so or another course field, so you have like an added advantage. I've seen a case where I didn't get picked for a role because somebody that was competing with me or somebody that we finished that particular interview process with the person I was competing with actually had graduated from a role in the university where she actually studied something that the company was working on. Like she
Okay.
studied in Laro, and that was the only reason I didn't get that job. So um, things like that do happen. So it's good to put your experience. Also, it's good to put like your academic career on or academic what's it called your degree right on your resume and if not you can it's not really compulsory but to cases where it could be like an advantage you would see it's on job descriptions that somebody that studied maybe computer science or somebody that has a degree in mathematics or related field so in that case that means that if you actually have the experience in that particular field, you might be like a good shot. You will need to put like your email, your LinkedIn on your CV.
Okay.
You need to put like your what else? You need to put maybe if you have a blog, you write a lot, maybe like technical articles. You can put a link to your technical articles. Maybe you have worked on I've talked about projects, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Maybe you have worked on. Everybody really contributes to open source. I don't really have much time to contribute to open source, but a couple of times maybe I've had to contribute to open source. Have been times where I was working with like open source tool and I had issue like maybe getting past something or it didn't save me on my case scenario and I had to write a contribution to that case scenario and make a PR. So something like that, I can add to my CV. So it was like I have made a contribution to Airtable before. Which other one? I think I've had to do Django. I can't remember if it was accepted now. I've had to do Django before too. So a couple of others like that. So you can add things like that to what you've done and contributions of open source. So it could be on that project. You can also add like certifications and link to your like maybe the certifications maybe on Udemy, Udacity, um, on Coursera. So you can decide to put any of these on your CV. So it's very important. Now let's quickly move to like things you should not actually put on your CV. You don't need to put your age, your
Okay.
hobbies. You don't need to put your you don't need to put like your full address. You can put your location like Nigeria or Lagos, Nigeria or something. You can put like an hint to your location. You don't need to put like your full address. You don't need your gender. You don't need to put your CV doesn't matter. You don't need to put things like your primary school. Nobody really cares.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
No, nobody really cares
But
if
actually,
you
it's an
went to.
education, though. Right? But
Yeah,
nobody.
yeah, but nobody cares.
Okay. Okay.
Nobody cares if you
Okay.
went to a primary school. Like it's quite negligible. Like you can leave it out. Your secondary school. You know when you are trying to build a CV, when you just
Mm-hmm.
maybe your first time of building a CV, you don't have anything to really put on your
Exactly.
CV. So
I was still
you just
about to
want it
ask
to
you
be
about people
buffed
that don't
up.
have experience. You don't need to be bogus. It will be very, very heavy. Okay.
So you know yeah you just need to be buffed up and you you just need to put every detail on your CV. Your CV just needs to be very simple as possible. You don't need to put all of those things on your CV. You don't need to put your marital status. Nobody cares if you're married, you have
Okay.
a partner, or you don't have a partner, you are single. Nobody really cares. Like those things are very, very like negligible and just leave them out of your CV. They are noise.
Okay.
The thing about CV is there is something they call ATS, Application Tracking System.
Okay.
So this thing actually goes through your CV to be able to get certain keywords and important points from your CV based on the current role that you're applying for.
Okay.
So many of organizations actually make use of ATS, and the first thing that will meet your CV most times is this ATS. That's why a couple of people have applied for roles in the past and they'll discover that, oh no, I received a rejection letter after 10 minutes. How? Like, who reviewed
What
my
happened?
CV within 10 minutes? Yeah, yeah, what happened? Yeah, your CV went through like an 8 years, and probably you didn't meet up with the number of years of experience, or you didn't meet up with the percentage of the skill sets that was required. So you don't have like some of the keywords on the job description for on your CV, so you just get like weeded out from it. So that's the first thing. And the second um, point your CV will meet is going to be like the recruiter or the hiring manager.
Okay.
So these people are reviewing. Imagine you're applying to Google and you're putting things like your marital status and like you're disturbing us. Like we want to
Mm,
at a glance. Like they
okay.
want to look at your CV at a glance. They're reviewing 200 plus people in a day. They're reviewing like 500 plus people in a day. You don't want to come and they don't have the time to read the story of your life. They want the glance. Okay, this person knows PySpark. This person knows Scalar. This person knows Elasticsearch. Okay, good. This is a good CV. Let's move to the next stage. This person knows this. So they are reviewing a lot of CVs in a very fast time. So you coming with a buffed off CV of like 3, 4, 5 pages, telling the story of your life and writing all the necessary details is going to really cost you a lot because it's like if you watch like all these maybe Nigerian movies where people go around submitting their CVs, some people take the CV, some directors just take the CV and throw it inside dustbin. You get so
Yeah, yeah.
same way,
Mm,
digital dustbin, maybe like like the trash bin
exactly.
of the recruiter. Sometimes like some people don't even get a rejection letter or any response because like they
You
didn't even
just
know
get
what
it.
to say about your CV. They
Exactly.
just send you, or maybe they just send you a generic, just send you a generic message that ah, we're sorry, we are not able to tell you at this point what was the issue with your CV or what was the issue with the application, but just accept our because we are reviewing a lot of people. The reason is because most times you already like fucked up with or messed up with the way you have already put your CV was very bad. So it's very important to note. So you don't need to put your CV in a table format like maybe like skills. Yes, you don't need to do such things. Like those things are going to break like the ATS because the ATS I've worked on like I've built like ATS things are very similar to ATS before and like the tools that we use they are looking for something there's a way they are written in such a way that they are looking for something on your CV and learning and all of those other things. So by the time you are putting your CV on a stable format, if you've already entered, like it's 1-0 between the company and you already. So like a table format will not do. And one other CV is in you don't want to have your CV in a docx format. Why? Because a PDF is not really at a go, right? It's not really editable. If you want to edit a PDF, that means something. That means like you really mean the person and you really want to deal with the person. But if you send a docx, right? Um, anybody can delete anything from your CV. Anybody can add anything to your CV. Anything can be done. It can be edited. Don't send a Google form or a Google Docs. Don't send a link to a Google Docs. Don't send a link to a docx or don't submit a docx format or any other format that this maybe like Apple or LibreOffice offers you. Don't do that. You want to send something that is not editable because anything could happen or go wrong with your CV. The recruiter may have somebody else that they are interested in table. So you don't want to. So it's always good to submit a PDF format and always ensure that um, you don't send you don't send sort of like CV that is not well formatted. Look at it after you converted it from maybe document to a PDF. You want to confirm that okay, like a text is not hanging somewhere, or maybe something is overfloating to. Yeah, you need to confirm that. So it's always very important. And one other thing I would mention about the perfect resume is ensure that you go through job descriptions very well so
Okay.
that you can tailor each of your applications to the job description. Imagine a job description is talking about Python, talking about Golang, talking about understanding CI/CD, talking about GitHub, GitLab, and all of these things. And what is on your own CV is something else, and you are familiar with these tools. Now, you know Java, you know JavaScript, but they have requested for Python and Golang, and you still know Python and Golang. On your CV, you have Java.
Ah.
What is on CV is not relevant to the role.
Yeah, you're already
Are you
shooting
seeing
yourself
it?
in the
Like,
leg.
what is on your CV? Yeah, you're already shooting yourself. So you need to go through the job description so that you'll be able to edit each of your applications, or you'll be able to streamline each of your applications to that particular role. So there's a way you can also design. You can have a generic you can have like a generic what's it called, a generic CV that covers like what you do generally, and it's always good most times when you're applying to a role to always have like a role that is very specified or speak to your the job application, the current job application. So um, that is so that those are like that is the free flow of what we would call like a perfect sort of like a perfect, and let me call it an ideal resume, not maybe
Okay.
like a perfect but an ideal resume. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and make sure as much as possible to summarize your CV to be one page, at most 2 pages, to be one page or at most 2 pages. Yeah, so don't like please don't write like all your how you went to primary school and what problems, how you trekked or how you flew plane. We don't need
Okay.
we don't
Okay.
need to do that, right?
Okay.
You want to keep it succinct, very succinct. Then I see something. Let me just mention this. People put things like Python, then they put like a bar, like 7. Golang, they put like 2.
And now,
Then
like
Elasticsearch,
it's
they
like a
put like
rating, like
1.
how good they are or something.
You don't need you don't put that on your, like, you don't need it. It's not good to put things like that. You can, I'm not saying you should lie, but if you know Elasticsearch, nobody is an island of knowledge. You know
Exactly.
Elasticsearch. Time you it like the time you pick up something, if you're a good engineer, you should be able to learn. You should be able to like adapt. You in your role. So you don't put things like 1. It only shows that you're only trying to bring down
Guys, I
the
miss class so
perception.
much.
It's These
I'm
things are
coming for
psychology.
Nigeria.
Don't want like to break a psychological test already. So the recruiter seeing you having 1 in Elasticsearch, they already say this one doesn't really know much in Elasticsearch. Let's drop the person. And your 1 can actually be another person's 5. So you are also rating yourself in the wrong way. So you understand. So
Yeah.
they may not even need up to that level of your wisdom or your knowledge in Elasticsearch, but you already rated yourself 1, and they'll just, this person don't really know what he's doing, so they just remove you. So you don't need to put like ratings on your CV. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Right. Thank you very much. So there are two things I'd like to ask you. So when you are formatting your resume, so there's this thing you said, something that your resume should be tabular form. So an ideal resume, should it just be plain, or you can have an header, a sidebar, or it should just be plain? What do you think about that? Like, should it be a plain, or what's it called, a plain document, or it should no, most of the time your CV doesn't have to be stylish. Like, you don't necessarily need to have all those fine this thing there. It should just be able to like convey the messages. Right? But what do you think about, is it also good for the ATS? For this end to scan the whole thing, can you like design your CV in such a way that is a little bit fine and compelling for um the HR or someone that is looking at it?
Um. Yeah. Like your CV should look good, but
Okay.
beauty is not the main thing.
Okay.
It's going to be text, but at the same time, you can use like big fonts for your name. Put the tool, maybe like when you say tools, make it blue. Then the actual tools be black. You can do things like, I can come up with really interesting stuff when it comes to like the way you come up with CV. Right? It doesn't have to just be plain and boring, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be boring and just plain.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. We had a little network the other time, but no problem. I got the whole thing. The CV should be fine. It should be appealing to the eye. So, but it's not as if you're preparing for a design contest. So I guess that sums up basically everything you want to talk about. The whole perfect IG resume, how it should look like. Most of the things that shouldn't be on your resume. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining today's call, and thank you for enlightening everybody out there watching this video. I really appreciate you, and next time you come on the show, I'll be talking about something else, or we'll talk about cover letters and also. So, but for now, I guess that's everything. So, thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.